Slip behind the wheel of a six-figure sedan, and everything whispers perfection. The leather smells richer, the doors whoosh shut like bank vault lids, and the salesperson swears you're buying engineering without compromise. Yet Consumer Reports' 2025 reliability charts paint a far harsher reality. Some of the priciest four doors on the planet are statistical sinkholes. Over the last month, I sifted through owner forums, recall notices, wholesale auction data, and the uncensored rants of dealership techs. The pattern is impossible to ignore. Touchscreens that crash harder than outdated laptops, driver systems that slam the brakes for ghosts, batteries so glitchy they need reboots like smartphones, and resale curves that nosedive faster than crypto in a bear market. Tonight we're counting down the 10 worst luxury sedans to avoid in 2025. For each one you'll hear its nastiest headache, a verified owner quote, an eye-opening data point, and a rival that actually gets it right. So your dream purchase doesn't become your most expensive regret. Buckle up, your wallet will thank you later. 10. Cadillac CT5. Competent, never captivating. On paper, the CT5V should bruise German egos. 360 horsepower, magnetic ride dampers, launch control, and a sticker that undercuts BMW. In daily life, the illusion crumbles fast. Owners slam the so-called premium Bose stereo. Doug DeMuro mocked it as compressed and tinny, like playing Spotify through wet earbuds. Lane keep assist pings on deserted roads. Stop lurches awake in traffic, and the swoopy roof chops head and near room to sub-Camry levels. J.D. Power ranks the CT5 dead last in rear seat comfort, while 3-year depreciation sits roughly $6,000 worse than a 330i. One Atlanta driver admitted, "Great lease payment, but I'm already dreading the buyout." Dig deeper and the value gap widens. A routine oil change can push $275 thanks to pricey Dexo synthetic, and the 10-speed automatic has already triggered 2 TSBs for harsh downshifts. Smarter play. Genesis G70. Quicker to 60. Quilted Napa inside. 10-year powertrain coverage. And CarEdge predicts just 46% 5-year depreciation versus the Cadillac's 56%. Next up, Britain's bond-worthy sedan whose gadgets age in dog years. 9. Jaguar XF. Grace that ages fast. Few sedans look cooler than the XF. Slim LED eyes, pop-out vents, turbine wheels. But the honeymoon ends once the Pivi Pro screen freezes mid-commute. Forum threads read like diagnostic horror. USB ports that fry on road trips, random TPMS alarms, sunroofs rattling like snare drums, and steering rack bushings that squeak by 15k miles. Repair pal pegs out of warranty upkeep, near $1,100 a year. CarEdge predicts a brutal 60% value crater after 5 years. The lack of dealers amplifies every fault. Just 174 rooftops remain in the entire U.S. A Nebraska owner vented, "Tow truck came Tuesday. My closest Jaguar service is 197 miles away. They said bring a book." Meanwhile, J.D. Power slots the XF 22nd out of 31 in midsize luxury reliability, sandwiched between brands half its price. Greener pasture. Lexus ES 350, same silky ride, triple the dealer network, and fewer electrical gremlins than a flashlight. Even Germany stumbles when tech stands still. 8. Audi A4, precision without progress. The A4 still steers with surgical confidence, yet its innards feel trapped in 2016. MMI takes 10 long seconds to boot, wireless CarPlay overheats the processor and auto-dims the screen, and the trunk holds just 12 cubic feet. Smaller than Corolla. Adaptive damping struts run $3,000 each after warranty, and Quattro fluid flushes pop up at 45k miles, blindsiding owners who expected seal for life. 3-year resale trails the fresher Mercedes C-Class by almost 9%. Owners also complain about creeping costs. Optional matrix LED headlights cost $4,200 to replace when a single pixel array fails, and the virtual cockpit's TFT panel sometimes develops ghosting lines outside the 4-year warranty. Drives like a champ, thinks like Windows Vista, quips one forum user. Better bet. New C-Class or BMW 330e, 48-volt mild hybrid punch, large infotainment, and stronger resale safety nets. Silicon Valley's shiny new EV darling isn't immune either. 7. Lucid Air, Range King Quality Popper. Scroll TikTok and the Air Sapphire's 1,234 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.0 seconds, and 500-mile range look like sci-fi. Early adopters offer a different plot twist. Door cards buzzing by 2,000 miles, trunk lids misaligned in the factory, and OTA updates that brick HVAC for days. One investor owner tallied 53 days in service during year 1. Another watched the floating cockpit screen go black at 70 miles per hour, then waited 6 weeks for a replacement shipped expensively from Arizona. Residuals are chilling. IC Cars forecast a 67% 5-year value dive, worse among six-figure sedans. Insurance underwriters now surcharge Lucids for part scarcity, and there are only 12 dedicated service hubs in North America. Calmer choice. BMW i7, 388-mile real-world range, cinema screen rear lounge, and an army of technicians who've seen the car before. Of course, Tesla wrote the EV playbook, but its flagship is fraying at the seams. 6. Tesla Model S Plaid, warp speed regret. Yes, the Plaid rockets to 60 miles per hour in 1.99 seconds, but owners average 14 service visits in 90 days. Panel gaps wide enough for a GoPro invite wind hiss. The yoke squeaks like a toddler's toy, and real-world highway range shrinks to roughly 285 miles, 50 shy of the EPA sticker. One Silicon Valley driver logged 6 steering yoke sensor faults before 5K miles and had his trim panels repainted twice under warranty. Software fixes can arrive overnight, but so can new bugs. After update December 4th, 2025, dozens of owners reported phantom seatbelt warnings every 90 seconds. And Plaid-specific 21-inch tires cost $560 each, lasting barely 9,000 miles if you enjoy the acceleration. Alternate thrill. Porsche Taycan GTS needs more charge stops, but the doors line up and you steer with a real circle. Except Stuttgart's electric missile hides demons of its own. 5. Porsche Taycan, the 911 of reboots. The Taycan steering feels telepathic. Brakes bite like carbon ceramics, and the design is school poster perfect. But the software often behaves like an early access beta. Owners describe electrical system fault, stop safely messages that kill regenerative braking. One Turbo S driver paid $32,000 for a new battery after firmware corrupted cell balancing just past the 4-year mark. EPA range stalls at 225 miles, and rapid charge speeds throttle hard once the pack warms to 113 degrees Fahrenheit, common after 2 sessions on a summer road trip. Even smaller faults grate. The haptic climate sliders miss taps with sweaty fingers, and the charge port door sometimes jams unless lubricated monthly. Porsche dealers admit they're learning on the fly, and often overnight SD cards from Germany for fixes. Safer Porsche flavor. Panamera GTS, blistering twin-turbo V8, old-school hydraulic steering feel, and zero error chimes. From German gremlins to Scandinavian software slip-ups. For Volvo S90, Zen interrupted. Step inside and you inhale spa-grade air, courtesy of Scandinavia's clean zone filter. Unvarnished driftwood, Orfer's crystal shifter, ventilated thrones. It's Hugo on wheels. Until the Google-based portrait display freezes on an endless spinner, taking climate radio and NAV hostage. Worse, NHTSA Campaign 25V, 146 warns T8 hybrids install because the gas engine won't relight after battery depletion. A Denver owner described losing power on I-70 mountain grades and coasting to a scary stop. Then their geography. Volvo has vast gaps in its dealer map, nothing between Tulsa and Albuquerque, so parts delays can stretch into months. Depreciation matches the downhill ski slope Sweden loves, roughly 57% loss in 5 years. Stress-free alternative. Genesis G80 massaging seats, OTA updates at work, 10-year warranty, and dealerships popping up like coffee shops. Japan's reputation for a bulletproof build takes a hit next. 3. Acura TLX, touchpad tango. Type S brings 355 horsepower, SHAWD torque vectoring, and Brembo brakes. But Acura chained every user interaction to the postage stamp true touchpad, turning simple radio changes into thumb yoga. Car and driver measured eye off-road time double, that of rotary controllers. Owners also gripe about fuel pump whine above 3,500 RPM, presets wiped by over-the-air patches, and brake pads vanishing every 15K spirited miles. But wait, there's resale. ALG projects 3-year residual at just 46% versus 54% for a Genesis G70. One owner sighed, "Fun to drive, but it's an Accord in fancy shoes at BMW prices." Better play. Genesis G70, rear drive balance, real buttons, and a decade-long safety net. Now, a sedan that's really a cramped coupe with millennial-era tech. 2. Infiniti Q60, yesterday's tech, tomorrow's bills. Twin-turbo thrust impresses, yet everything else feels ancient. Infiniti slapped 2 VGA screens together in 2014 and never looked back. Laggy menus, cartoon icons, and Bluetooth drops that force engine-off resets. The back seat offers only 32 in a legroom, barely enough for grade schoolers. Adaptive dampers cost $1,000 each, and wheel sensors specific to Infiniti run double Nissan pricing. Reliability is merely average, but the cost per hiccup is eye-watering. Add 62% 5-year depreciation, and you're better off lighting a cigar with 20s. One Chicago owner grumbled, "Fast, loud, and lonely on the resale lot." Superior choice. Lexus RC 350 F Sport, updated tech, adult-sized seats, and bulletproof service histories. All roads lead to the flagship fiasco. 1. Mercedes-Benz S580, the glitch-class flagship. The S-Class should be luxury's North Star. The 2025 iteration is a cautionary tale. Distronic Cruise lunges at shadows. The fingerprint starter forgets you weekly, and the augmented reality HUD once flipped arrows, steering a Denver driver into oncoming traffic. Local news verified the mishap. Internal service bulletins list 400-plus unresolved software bugs, while transport mode sometimes triggers mid-drive, capping speed at 50 miles per hour until a dealer reset. Repair costs? One Chicago owner racked up 9 service visits in 5 months, including a $2,800 replacement for the OLED ambient light strip. Cracked after a phantom reboot. Used car guides now show 38% 1-year depreciation, slicing $60,000 off the Maybach spec Pinnacle trim. With loaner fleets maxed out, customers snag Ubers while their 6-figure status symbols marinate on diagnostics. Clearer skies. BMW 760iX Drive, hands-free level 2+ that actually works, theater screen rear lounge, and far fewer tech tantrums. Badge is not equal to bulletproof. 10 cars, 10 cautionary tales. Fancy logos don't shield you from reboot cycles, phantom braking, or resale nosedives. Before signing that 6-figure note, scour owner forums. Test every gadget twice, and remember, true luxury is confidence, not constant service appointments. If this countdown spared you a headache, smash like, share your own horror stories below, and queue up our companion video on the 10 most reliable luxury sedans to keep once the warranty fades. Drive smart, stay informed, and never judge a car by its badge.